October 23rd, 2019. Today I want to talk about homelessness in the United States and specifically California. Of 553,000 people estimated to be homeless in 2018, on any given night, there's over 550,000 people homeless in the United States, at least. California has 130,000 homeless people on any given night, and that's current as of 2019 September. So what we have is California has a homeless population that makes up almost half as much as the entire other United States. Now, what's going on there is very confusing. Homeless people abound in California so bad because rent prices are so high. So the governor of California, Gavin Newsom is his name, has enacted a rent control effort going against the will of the voters, using the homeless crisis to initialize socialism through rent control in California. But more than this, when California realized it was in trouble was when services went awry 10 years ago or more. The question becomes, how do you let California get into this state of being? And more than that, at what point while this was going on did the people of California think homelessness would just go away or be all right? There has to be consequences in this world for all of us. If we don't do what's expected of us, we're not able to live happily as citizens. It doesn't seem fair, but it's reality. So what's going on with the homeless population of California? Well, number one, that's added to it, if you want to go to San Francisco to live, for example, an efficiency apartment in San Francisco starts at about $1,600 a month. So to live in California is very, very expensive. Furthermore, the state of California had a problem with prisons overcrowding. So what they did was make possession of heroin and methamphetamine and cocaine and these things misdemeanors or minor misdemeanors, like people might have looked at marijuana back in the day, where it was just a ticket. And so what happened is they let people out of prison in California due to overcrowding so they could get federal dollars in. So they've let people become homeless in California over 10 to 20 years now. And it's almost like, if you look at it, it seems like the minute Arnold Schwarzenegger got out of office, things got crazy again in California, like they had been in the 60s, but not in a good way this time, in a negative way. Homeless people on the streets. Typhus has shown up. There's obviously hepatitis A, hepatitis C. The Black Plague, bubonic plague, exists in California. Of course, there are over 2,000 cases of the Black Plague every year still. Erythromycin, amoxicillin, antibiotics can stop the plague now, but it's still alive and well. The Black Plague is not dead. And a big part of the plague is the plague travels in fleas that are on rats. And rats live really long in a warm environment. This is why California is an especially good place for rats, especially in government, it appears. So somehow, not thinking of consequences, they've let the homeless population go unchecked in California, all during the Obama administration, for sure, and maybe before a little bit. We know California is breaking down in so many other ways. Over 100,000 illegal people in California have federal health care. God only knows how long they've been voting and other things illegally. As we watch California start to take its last breath and roll over, it's important to realize that the homeless people oftentimes have mental illness. If it could be treated, they would be okay. We have to look at shelters as the way. Here in Ohio, we have programs installed. I will say Long Beach, California, although there's homeless people there, they have a methodology for helping them through the fire department, the police department, and social services to help people. So Long Beach is trying. They're the example for the whole state of California. Here in Ohio, we have services, organizations, St. Vincent de Paul, etc. We have some organization and try to take care of people. And in many states, this is the case. But homelessness is a nationwide problem. Right now, it's about 20 people out of 10,000, they say. I believe it's more, because even if you're living with someone else and don't have a home, you're still technically homeless. Now, you could say maybe there's millions of homeless people under that scenario, but the ones on the street are the worst, in trouble. California will collapse if for no other reason than the homeless crisis. So we have people with mental illness that could be treated, and then we have drug addicts in the group, and we know that they have to have a will to want to stop, but you have to give a person addicted to drugs, you have to give them drugs to get them off the drug. And they would go to a clinic and get methadone or Suboxone. And I'm not going to go off on this big dialogue about Suboxone. I don't know that much about it, but I understand it. I've read test cases. It seems to me it's more harmful than good in some ways for many people trying to stop drugs, especially people who have done heroin in the past. It seems there's a correlation. But you can't solve everything. And more than that, in a homeless group, there are some people that maybe just don't want to work, that like camping every night on the streets of LA or San Fran, or, and it goes all the way up into Oregon now, Washington State, Seattle, and Portland. Homeless problems, unbelievable. So what is happening? Well, it's a humanitarian crisis. It's one that's been left go for way too long. They say they have shelters in California they were trying to build to house 1,000 people or something of 130,000. I think they have residents for about 300 people right now. 4 places have been constructed. The reality is the people running California don't seem to know what they're doing, and they don't seem to know about human beings and what that means to life and how important it is. Just like my a-hole neighbor who can never let power tools alone. When I'm sitting here, which is rarely, because usually I'm standing up working my ass off so I'm not homeless. You know what I mean? So what does it all mean? We should be glad we got a roof over our head. We should be happy we're not homeless. And no matter how horrible your job is, it may be better than you thought if you have a roof over your head and can survive this. So we will continue to see and watch what happens in California in hopes that rationality will take hold over money and that someone will do the right thing. Although now, I think it's too late. And California is going to pay a serious penalty in life. It's called karma, not caring and not understanding what happens and that there's consequences to everything we do. I hope y'all have a good day. Peace out, y'all.